Mm. Uh, yeah. Give me a second. I'll find my syllogism. All right. Do you want my analytical argument or this more scholastic argument?
I don't care.
What do you say?
I don't care.
What it's referencing is the mind-body problem. The thing that is explaining it within the physical change or the material change is going to be the mind-body problem, as in an immaterial thing can interact with a physical thing, as in it cannot formulate or send signals to this material thing, as they exist on different forms of ontological states. It's going to lead to some sort of contradiction to say that the mind is immaterial if there's going to be some sort of interaction between them, as you cannot change something.
What were you saying? P. The mind knowledge were distinct subs needing an actual. What does mens mean?
The mind, or if the mind.
Arguing again, I forgot which is.
I'm in reference to the mind-body problem.
What is your stance on the debate?
I'm a reductive physicalist.
Was that?
I think anything can be reduced to physical means.
I'm not.
Or can be explained through physical means.
Yeah, you can give your argument.
Yeah. My argument is in the chat.
Oh, okay. Yeah,
I'm explaining that the mind can't be immaterial because it's getting explained through a physical change, this being the mind-body problem.
You're saying that the mind can't be material because it can be.
No, the mind can't be immaterial because it can be explained through material change.
What do you mean material change? Like, is it going to?
It's sending signal. If we were to say in the substance dualism stance, you say that there's two different things, blah blah blah, dualistic stance. There's going to be an immaterial construct and a material construct. That immaterial construct sends signals to that material construct to tell it what to do. So things such as you need to eat food and shit like that. But I see that's a contradiction because how can something immaterialized interact with something materialized? That's going to lead to some sort of contradiction, and the contradiction is explained within the mind-body problem.
So I think when I take the position, when I take the position that the mind is material, I don't think I'm using the whole mind. I'm just using part of it. Wait, yeah.
Do you think part of the mind is material or immaterial?
Yeah, I don't take the position that the whole mind is. I think there's like a distinction from the brain, our mind, and like our mind itself doesn't have a, like.
Are you the demon's mind argument?
I don't know what the hell that is, bro. I suck.
Uh,
I need to study. So I'm making a brand new argument. I can't.
well, then you would be like agreeing to my position in a way.
How?
Because you're reducing the mind to a physical way.
I'm reducing part of it when I take this stance of immaterial mind. I don't refer to
Well,
the
then how
mind.
can you say something? How can you say a part of something is going to be have a different property than the other part?
I think the set of mind in general, like both including whatever material and immaterial part, I don't necessarily think you can give that a physical or non-physical thing, since it's more of an idea, so you can kind of give it a non-physical thing. I just think it's an idea, not necessarily like them interacting with each other.
You don't think it's them interacting with you? Well, how do we know when we're hungry then?
How do I know
How can
when?
yeah, how can we say something is going to be hungry if the mind
Data.
isn't saying this?
You said what?
How can we say something is going to be hungry, or how can we tell when we're hungry if the mind isn't telling or sending signals to our body that we're hungry?
Okay. I think what's it called? That I think that's the material part of the brain, like how how I said earlier, type shit. Yeah, I think that is gonna be through empirical data and observations, which is
Yeah,
gonna
that
be
empirical data has to be hold some sort of materialistic properties.
yeah, that's fine, but that's gonna go to the material mind.
Yeah, then what is it? What parts of the mind do you think are immaterial then? Just to
Things
be
like
completely clear, understand.
um, I'd probably say like things like involving conception stuff, making
Oh,
ideas.
imagination.
Yeah.
All right. How can we say that's gonna be immaterial if it's being created by a material thing?
First of all, why? What I would like to ask is why can't something physical be the cause in a sense of something non-physical?
All right, so you literally can't have so. All right, when you're saying something is gonna be immaterialized, you agree it's not gonna be physically there, right?
What?
When we're saying something is immaterialized, you agree that it's not there, right? It's not gonna be there physically, right?
Yeah,
So how can we create something that's not there?
it's not there physically, but it still can be created.
Yeah,
Non.
that's what's under question. How can that thing be created if it's not going to be there? And how are we going to be able to visualize something if it's not there?
It's just not gonna be what's it called? Wait, you said what?
How can we visualize something if it's not there? That was the
I mean,
second point.
okay, first part is it's just not gonna be, which I see like no problem with.
Wait, what you
Uh,
say? My bad.
for the visual part, why do you have to visualize something to create it?
Why do you have to visualize something to create it? There's
Yeah,
obviously going to have to be some sort of like visualization there to know that you're creating something. How can you know that you created something without even being able to see it? You could just say
what do
that
you
you never created anything if you can't even know that you did create it.
what do you define as visual? Visual, bro. How do you say it again? Visualization.
Yeah, visualization.
Yeah, what do you define that as?
Uh, Seeing something, I guess.
Yeah, so what was my argument again? I forgot. I can't lie. Let me think. Yeah, so when let's say um I make a plant and I'm visualizing a tomato plant, but instead of me creating that tomato plant, apple plant gets made. And does that disprove the fact that you need visualization to creating? Also, I could argue that since there is no logical or physical, there no not physical,
Well, first
there's
of
no
all,
logical correlation. We can just say that in some possibility we can create things without visualization, unless you're taking the stance that our mind is material within this world and not any other possible worlds that exist. Who joined? Hello.
yeah. Sorry, could you repeat that first part, like the first argument that you made?
Uh, what was it in response to?
What was it in response to? I'm pretty sure it was the visualization part.
Yeah, so I said, what's it called? I said that if I create I visualize me creating a tomato plant, but instead, like when I put the seed in, instead when it grows like a few months later or whatever, an apple grows. That's just gonna prove that visualization is not necessary
Well, that's
for.
because of your knowledge upon these things. you have knowledge upon what this thing could be and what it could possibly grow into because of the knowledge that you gained prior to this. So you gain knowledge prior of what a tomato
I'm
plant would look like,
what
but
I'm
instead it turned into something else. That's why you're able to visualize it.
no when I'm first of all, that's not really the theater to my argument. Having knowledge of what something possibly could be
Well,
doesn't mean
yeah, we don't have knowledge upon what the mind could look like. That's why we can't say that it's gonna have some sort of
wait, could you
uh
that was in response to my argument, just for
yeah.
clarification.
So you have some sort of knowledge upon what this thing could be or what it could look like. So
Yeah,
you're obviously going to be able to make some sort of visualization upon it. If the mind was immaterial, we don't know what the mind could look like before it's in that state. So it's obviously going to have to hold some sort of material properties. So it can, what is it? It's obviously going to have to hold some sort of material property so you can visualize it.
for the
So we know
first
what it,
for the
oh yeah.
first part, what's it called? I don't just because I have knowledge of uh that something that could possibly turn out. What I'm arguing is that one that's kind of presupposing that I was guessing it would turn into something else because let's say I like since I visualized a tomato plant and just presuppose that seeds I bought were tomato plants, but I don't know. It's weird sometimes. Maybe there was like a apple seed in it. I don't know. Oh, what's it called? And I'm not thinking of the possibility of it being an apple tree. Though I have the knowledge that it's could be something else. That does not mean uh I'm gonna presuppose it being something else. That there is a possibility of that. I'm just gonna assume that this is going to be the case. That it's a tomato. And for the second part, can you clarify on that? I don't know what you're saying.
Yeah, we don't know what the mind is going to physically look like and we don't know what the visual representation of it is. So there's obviously going to have to be some sort of visualized representation of what the mind is so we can actually gain knowledge upon what the mind is. This is backed up by empiricism and not
Um,
rationalism. Yeah, just empiricism.
do you think concepts exist?
Do I think concepts exist? Yeah,
Do you
but I
think
think they
they're
can be reduced to physical means.
so do you think what do you mean by that?
I think that if a concept did exist, if we were to visualize this concept, we would be gaining knowledge upon it by the prior knowledge that we have of what, like from our experience of what that physical thing is.
But do you think that that concept is in itself by nature physical?
Do I think it's physical?
Yeah, by nature.
Uh, yeah, by nature, yeah.
Okay, do you want to bring up the definition of concept? Because we can appeal to Oxford if you
Oh,
want. I
yeah, I
can.
guess.
Yeah. So Oxford, I'm not sure if this verbatim, but because I want to say it and it makes me sound smart, it verbatim states that a concept is just an abstract idea. So how can you, if unless you're going off of like, I'm not sure if there is different concepts. I don't believe that concrete concepts exist. Maybe like embodiments of concepts, but I don't consider those in actualization a concept of. I forgot what I was gonna say. Oh yeah. So I don't think you can maybe you can like come up with the properties of a concept and what a concept physically like what a concept is supposed to be represented by physically. I'm sure you can do that, but I don't think you can give a concept what's it called a physical form. That's something abstract. Also, by definition, is what was what's it called? Something abstract is non-concrete. If you want, I can bring like philosophical papers into this PDF that says that even agrees that something being abstract and what concrete is just physical space.
Yeah, so the refutation to this is just going to be uh, what
Would you
is it?
like
The properties of what,
before you
even
respond?
the, oh, yeah.
My bad. Do you want me to bring in proof or not?
No, I'm good.
Okay, dokie.
All right, yeah. I can still reduce this thing to a physical mean because we only have knowledge upon what a concept is. And the only reason why we have this knowledge upon a concept of what a concept is because of our empirical evidence that we have of what a what is it of what the physical representation is. So that concept is just defined by a physical meaning that it can be reduced to a physical, concrete state.
Could you repeat that? I wasn't listening.
Yeah. All right. So it can be reduced to a physical state because of what the concrete example of it is. So when we're defining what a concept is, we usually have some sort of prior knowledge of what that concept would be from the concrete example that we can give. So if we have a concept of an apple, we obviously get the concept of this apple
Wait.
from a
I can't
concrete state of existence.
name. Just like you. I'm a bit not listening. Just one
Wait,
more
what you
time.
say?
I wasn't really listening.
All
You
right, yeah.
should.
All right. So we can reduce this concept to a physical state by saying that uh, our prior knowledge of what this concept is comes from a physical state. So we can reduce this physical construct to a physical state.
I don't think that's gonna be present a defeater to my argument because when we make a concept, or not technically make it, when we gain knowledge upon the existence of a concept, just using it, like I said before, just I agree that you can get knowledge and epistemic on a concept through the physical things that embody that concept, like the concept of a cat. You can okay, like the concept of a dog, Catholic dog. You know what I'm saying? Anyways, the concept of a dog. We get the concept of a dog from knowing what a dog is. We see a dog. Think of like a a dog is just the embodiment of a concept in some sense. It's just a physical representation of what that concept is. That
Yeah. So the concept can be reduced to that physical mean.
what I'm
No
saying that
reductive physical stance still applies.
what I'm saying is that not gonna necessarily mean that a concept is bounded by that. It's just gonna be the physical representation. You kind of just repeated the argument that I kind of defeated.
Well,
Unless
yeah,
you
it's because I'm proving that this reductive physicalism stance still stands because I'm reducing this concept to a physical mean.
by using the what is supposed to represent that concept, which
Yeah.
I
So what's it's supposed to represent is the concept that it's supposed to represent is this physical mean that it's based upon from the knowledge that we gain from this by virtue of our experiences with it.
yeah.
We
So
can
I don't.
so I can reduce this concept to a physical mean by because of the what is it the experiences that I've had with this dog.
You've had a dog.
I guess now.
Wait, what? Oh yeah. So
Like
just have empirical data, like have. Wait, is it? I mean, 'cause I want to see if I know how to use the right word.
what server am I in?
I don't know anymore. You're in a mute.
Oh, is this Shinxie server?
Oh yeah. Wait. Yeah, it is. Yeah. So what was it? You're using, just because you have experience with the physical representation of a uh well, just because you have empirical observation with the concepts what is supposed to be representing a concept that I don't understand how you can just reduce a concept which should be agreed upon that the concept is not the physical representation of a concept, like since dog, the concept of dog is just a canine or whatever you want to define it as. But dogs can come into like different ways of looking. They can have black spots, a canine that has no ear, a canine
Well,
with
yeah, but in
no
the
heart.
generalized state of what, so when we're in reference to dogs that look different or have different uh, attributes, we could say that these are going to be the what is it called? I'm trying to remember the empiricism thing. There's this first prior. There's the first thing, and then the second shit. Yeah. So when we're studying it with empirical data, there's two different ways we could define something as. There's the first one. This is going to be something that applies to the generalized state of what a dog is. This is going to be a canine, whatever the fuck. But then the second state that we can use with empirical data is the stats that hold different properties than what other dogs could have, such as not having ears or losing its speed or some shit. I don't know. Having
Um,
no legs. Those would be the other empirical data that we can make up. So
this
we
is
could still reduce this to physical means with a subjective stance.
right. Um, so this can be the case, but let's say that we have a case where a dog bred with an elephant. I don't know why, but
What?
don't ask. Anyways, and I don't. In this dog, it was classified as a dog, but also had elephantism in it. What would we consider it now? We could consider it both a dog and an elephant. It would apply to both
Those would
concepts.
be
But if we
the
generalization of a concept, then uh, what was I saying? You can't just go off a generalization of a concept because, like, if this is the case, then there's more attributes and uh presupposed
yeah.
attributes.
Then we could just come up with a different we could just call this a different shit like and I don't
But
know
it's
like
probably still a canine, though, so that wouldn't be applicable.
yeah, it would hold the properties of what a canine and an elephant would hold.
Yeah,
So
but
if
it
it's
would
gonna hold
both.
these same properties, we could still say that it's gonna be a
Would be equally both. It would just be equally both canine and elephant.
yeah, it could equally be both of these things, but it hold the properties of what we could define as an elephant and a
That
canine or a dog. So it could still be reduced to a physical mean, that idea.
I don't think that's just gonna be like. I don't think that can be the case because if it's fully both, which you agree to, I don't know why, but if it's fully both, then you can't specifically say it's just an elephant. You have to include both concepts. You won't
That it's just going to be an elephant. I'm just saying that it holds the properties of both things. It could, well, it's
yeah,
equally both a elephant and a canine, so we could define it as
so
both of those things at the same exact time.
yeah, but when I'm saying that it won't fit the generalization of a canine due to having also
Yeah,
mixed
we could
ears.
just create a new generalized idea of what these things can embody.
Yeah, yeah, I'm not. That's not what I'm disagreeing with. I'm saying that you can do that, but also it's going to be applicable to both, but it won't fit both generalizations. I honestly forgot where I got from this.
Right. Yeah. Even if it, what is it? If we don't have a case where it doesn't, where it doesn't fit both of these generalizations, this case still is applicable. We could still say that this new concept could still be reduced to this physical mean because of uh
That
what
wasn't
is
my
it?
argument.
Wait, what are you arguing for then?
Yeah, I'm arguing that going off like shit. I forgot. I kind of want to conclude, bro.
All right, we can get conclusions from like anybody. I'll post this on my YouTube.
No, I got slammed. Why would you agree to a